Hello everybody, Johnster12 back here again with another video, and today I bring you another Flash review. It's Tuesday night, it's practically almost Christmas, it's the mid-season finale, and I'm fucking psyched. I just witnessed possibly the greatest Flash episode that has happened. And that's saying a lot, folks, because as you all know, I'm a huge Flash fan. It's definitely one of the best TV shows that come out of this year, and it's the definitive DC comic book TV show that has ever happened. And this episode definitely blew down the doors. You know, it was just amazing, and we finally got the big reveal of who the Reverse Flash really is. Now, first, before we get into that awesomeness, this episode will contain major spoilers, so if you are not a big Flash fan, or you've not really been obviously watching episodes until yet, then definitely go back, watch all the overall episodes that you have yet to see, because this review is going to contain major spoilers, and I'm reviewing The Flash, Episode 9, The Man in the Yellow Suit. Yes, it is the mid-season finale, and you can also consider it the Christmas episode, because this episode had a lot of Christmas into it, and I guess that may be another reason as to why I love this episode so much, because I'm a huge fan of Christmas. Even though, seasonal-wise, it doesn't really make sense, because I don't know about anybody else, but every time I see a TV show that does this, it always makes me feel like, you know, it just feels like just yesterday it was fall, and like today it's Christmas. I don't know, it just felt a little weird. But TV shows definitely do that. It's a generic thing with TV shows. It's like, oh, well, there's a major holiday this weekend. It's like, okay, well, here's the Halloween episode, or here's the Thanksgiving episode, and the Christmas episode. But I think it works to their advantage, because even though there's no clear winner in this episode, it's still lighthearted and fun and good, even because of the Christmas elements. So I think that's one of the main things as to why this episode was so great. But anyways, let's get started right into the review. First off, it opens up with the Reverse Flash in action. Yes, the Reverse Flash is in Central City, and of course he's being chased by Barry, which was pretty badass. I really did not expect them to open up with that type of sequence, because usually with Flash episodes, it opens up with a narration by Barry or Iris, and then, you know, giving off the overall themes of the episode itself. But overall, it just starts off with action amongst action. Reverse Flash is going, bam, 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 fucking Barry, and shit has hit the fan, folks. But anyways, we go into a day prior to the events of what we're seeing. And apparently, the overall episode is, of course, the Reverse Flash in action. He is in Central City, and he's trying to steal a tachyon particle device, apparently, that's being developed by Mercury Labs. And essentially what this device could do, if it's connected with the Reverse Flash, could amplify his abilities to make him do crazy, you know, superpowered things that Barry can't do, you know, like... overall, the device would just make him 10 times as more powerful than Barry. So that's essentially what the device is going to be. And obviously, Barry has to stop him. So that's pretty much the overall plot. But then we got also some subplots to that. We have the Barry, you know, Iris, Eddie relationship triangle kind of coming up to its terms. You know, Barry obviously dealing with the whole Reverse Flash thing, and not being able to stop him, of course, is weighing down on him mentally and physically. So he's obviously at the end of those ropes, and decides to really confide into Iris how he truly feels and how he always felt about her. And that I really wasn't expecting that. That was one of the big moments, other than the Reverse Flash stuff, that I think made the episode really special, because I really wasn't expecting that. I was expecting that to be more of a, you know, season finale type of thing. But overall, it was pretty badass. It was sincerely amazing the way they did it. I think it was great that, you know, Iris didn't really say anything, and she just kind of cried about it, you know, because obviously she cares about Barry, and Barry obviously loves Iris, but they can't really do anything about their feelings, because obviously there's the Eddie Thawne thing. So it's a real big, you know, cluster, but nevertheless, I'm happy that they did that. And on top of that, we also have Ronnie Raymond back in action. Yes, Robbie Amell is back, and he's full-on Firestorm, which was pretty badass. We got the teaser of that in the previous Flash episode, so we knew he was going to come back. I just wasn't expecting him to have really any big part in this. Like, essentially, he's spending his time, like, following Caitlin, and she discovers that Robbie's alive, and then uses the help of Cisco to try and discover and bring back Robbie to the fold. And basically, Robbie has no interest in Caitlin anymore. Obviously, we already know that the background of Firestorm as the comic book character. But in the sense of this TV show, essentially, Robbie Amell is still in there, but of course his mind is completely mixed, and he obviously has zero interest in trying to, continue his life the way it was. Of course, his power and his abilities is obviously destroying that for him. His mental capacity is all over the place. But overall, I think it was great to have Robbie Amell, and Ronnie Raymond was badass in this episode. He definitely has a few good scenes. He's not in the episode overall, but he has a good couple of scenes. And I also thought it was cool to see him in action and actually use his powers, like his flight abilities. Like, obviously, kind of similar to the Human Torch, Firestorm uses his fire abilities to fly, and he actually flies in this episode, which was pretty cool. I mean, because my personal... when we first saw Robbie Amell as Firestorm, my first instinct in seeing his abilities is that, the only thing he'll be able to do is just turn on fire and just use his fire. That's pretty much all he would do. But yes, Firestorm does fly in the Flash, so that's definitely a thumbs up. But anyways, overall, this episode is a full-on Reverse Flash versus Barry episode, so it's pretty badass. Of course, the man in the yellow suit is here. Everybody has conflicting issues because... Reverse Flash is trying to get the tachyon particle device. They can't have that happen. Barry discovers that he's incapable of defeating the Reverse Flash because they have a little one-on-one early on in the episode, which is pretty cool. I think it was amazing. Like, definitely, Barry and the Reverse Flash have two major fights in this episode. The first one is very early on in the episode. We also have the ending climax fight between the two, and both were really badass. Like, it was just amazing, like the way they did the whole thing. Like, Reverse Flash is definitely superior to Barry. He's faster, he's stronger, and he's definitely a dominant force to Barry. So I think it was pretty badass, and I really liked how they presented Reverse Flash. We all knew that based off CW's comments that they were not going to reveal Reverse's Flash identity at first to Barry. So I think it was cool how they blurred him and had his like glowing red eyes just insanely red and blurred. I think it just looked amazing, comic book accurate, and also very demonic, and I really like that type of shit. So, but overall, the fight between the two were amazing. I love Grant Gustin's performance when he's just yelling at him. It's like, why'd you kill my mother, and stuff like that. It was just awesome, just so amazing and well done. And the fight sequence was great. And I love the whole taunting that Reverse Flash does to Barry. Like, he just continues to taunt him. And we do get tons of speculation as to who the Reverse Flash throughout the episode. Like, at first, with their first fight, once again, spoilers, but he starts to he starts taunting Barry, and he starts revealing aspects about his origins, which is, first off, he starts to tell them that Barry knows who the Reverse Flash is, and that they've been fighting against each other for decades. So obviously that's a real big indicator. I mean, like, it is true from the comic books. Reverse Flash and the Flash have obviously had their one-on-one through time and space, so it does make sense to the comic books. And I also liked how Reverse Flash was just overly dominant towards Barry. It was just great. It was just really amazing. And I just loved how his voice just sounded. But overall, we continue to go on from there. Barry obviously is angry with himself that he cannot defeat the man who destroyed his life, the man who took his mother away, the man that put his father in jail for life, that he can't stop him. And I really loved that part because I thought, even though it would have been great to finally see the Reverse Flash being taken down by Barry for all the harm he's done to his life and shit, but at the same time, I think it was good the way they did it, where it's like Reverse Flash was not defeated, and Barry, continues to live another day, but not be able to defeat the person who destroyed his life. But anyways, we get into some really awesome flashback sequences to the events that happened that we already know. Of course, Reverse Flash comes in, kills Barry's mother and all that stuff, but I think one of the best scenes towards that is that we get another John Wesley Shipp sequence in jail with Barry. I think the sequence that they have together was just amazing because, John's performance is just awesome. I mean, he obviously doesn't get to do a lot in the series, but the lines that he gives to Barry are just so awesome and just so subtle that it just makes the piece overall amazing, because just the dialogue, the way he's speaking to Barry, the way he's just telling him about how fear has kept him in the city and it never really gave him a life, and how, his love for Iris and his love for, for forensic science, and not really pursuing that, but pursuing the person in the yellow suit, the man in the yellow suit, hence the title. So I really liked those lines. It was pretty badass and good, and it really encouraged Barry to want to tell Iris how he truly feels. So overall, this was one jam-packed episode, but it was definitely amazing. Overall, I give it an A++. It was definitely good. And of course, we get a good climactic ending, and it was definitely mind-blowing. But you know what? Before I reveal Reverse Flash's identity, let's get into the climax of this overall episode. Of course, it has to go down to trying to capture Reverse Flash. They develop a new way to stop him in a force field, and we have Eddie Thawne with his police force, and of course Joe there trying to, stop Reverse Flash, and he does get captured in and of itself, but because of the power and the force field, it didn't really work out. So of course Reverse Flash does get out and beats the living shit out of Harrison Wells. So then again, we get some more speculation in this whole sequence as to who could be Reverse Flash. And of course, at first we're thinking, okay, well, it can't be Harrison Wells, and it can't be Eddie Thawne, because of course they're standing right there in front of them. And Harrison Wells getting his ass kicked, like Reverse Flash is beating the living shit out of him. So it's really crazy in and of itself. And then we get a good climactic scene with Eddie and Reverse Flash. Apparently there's a good sequence where Reverse Flash is just standing in front of Eddie, and he doesn't attack him. And they actually address that later on in the episode, where Eddie tells Joe, it's like, when the man in the yellow suit was in front of me, why didn't he kill me? And Joe says, well, I don't know. So there comes up another speculation. Could the Reverse Flash be a future Eddie Thawne? Here's my speculation for that. Of course, Reverse Flash is definitely hiding his identity, but could it be possible that Reverse Flash is a future Eddie Thawne? I don't know. Let's just keep it there. Anyways, we do get another great, awesome fight with Barry versus Reverse Flash. They go one-on-one. They start, going at it, and of course, once again, Barry is incapable of defeating Reverse Flash, and is defeated once again, but does get to live another day thanks to the help of, Firestorm. So overall, this was one really big jam-packed episode. It ends pretty much with Barry kind of accepting Iris and Eddie's relationship, even though Iris now knows the truth behind, Barry's, interest in her. And then we just get a good climactic scene with everybody in the house, including Cisco and Caitlin, pretty much putting the star on the Christmas tree, hence the end of this overall episode and the Christmas special, if you call it. That's pretty much what I'm going to call it. It's the Flash Episode 9 mid-season finale / Christmas special. That's what I'm going to call it. But anyways, this episode was hands down the best episode we've got so far. It's definitively the best episode of the season so far. Of course, there's definitely a whole back half of the season. But overall, if I had to compare this one to other previous episodes, this one takes the cake. I definitely give this a 10 out of 10. It was amazing. It was just great overall. But overall, now we get to the identity of the Reverse Flash. I personally knew that they were going to do it, but I was hoping that they didn't, because I just love the whole, speculations and, the whole, who is he kind of get, the anticipation to getting to know who he is. But we finally get the identity, folks. And of course, spoilers, if you've not seen the episode, and hell, maybe even the identity that was revealed isn't truly him. You never know. There's future technology and metahumans, and I don't know. There's a lot of craziness. But we do have the identity, and if you don't want it spoiled for you, definitely check out the episode, then come back. But you have been warned. Anyways, in the post-title sequence, Harrison Wells is back in Star Labs, of course in his little secretive corner, and then he pulls out a ring. Yes, folks, a flash ring. A freaking flash ring. I had zero idea that the CW was ever going to do this, but yes, they brought in the flash ring, and that shit was pretty badass. Of course, it's not, the comic book one where, the Flash's suit is stored in there, but it's the flash ring, so in and of itself, I want that shit for Christmas. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. Harrison Wells uses the flash ring to open a secret compartment in the wall in his secret little man cave, and essentially it opens up like usually all the other, wall corners in that little secretive room, and then it reveals the Reverse Flash's suit. Yes, and it is badass. It looks so fucking awesome. Of course we saw it before, in set photos and stuff, but to see it on screen, oh god, it was beautiful. It was so badass. It looks even cooler than, Barry's suit, and that's saying a lot. But yeah, the Reverse Flash's suit is just badass. And then it just ends with a climactic, close-up shot of Harrison Wells talking menacing, using the Flash's morphing abilities to morph his voice to make him sound differently, like how Barry uses it and how, the Reverse Flash did it in this episode. And then it's revealed, of course, the Reverse Flash is Harrison Wells. Oh my god. How many brains just exploded? Harrison Wells is the Reverse Flash. We all knew that he was sketchy at best, but Reverse Flash, I don't know. There was a lot of craziness going on. But there still leaves the open book. It's like, well, if that's true, how did he get his ass kicked? And who was in the suit the whole time while Harrison Wells was doing so? I don't know. There's just so many speculations. Maybe Harrison Wells is working with the Reverse Flash, or maybe, he is the Reverse Flash, and maybe he just used, like, some kind of technology or something to, morph people's, perception of what they saw. I don't know. He does have future technology, so he could do a lot of sketchy shit. But overall, Harrison Wells, as of yet, is Reverse Flash, and he has the Tachyon device, which possibly will upgrade his suit and abilities, so that means one thing, Barry is fucked. And overall, the speculation continues, or does it end? I guess it really depends on you guys at home. Do you think Harrison Wells is officially the Reverse Flash, or is he working with the Reverse Flash? Overall, I think he is Reverse Flash, but you never know with these things. We can just get a whole nother mind twist at the back half of this episode of this season. So I don't know. My brain's melting as we speak. I give this episode a 10 out of 10. It was definitely the best episode out of the entire season so far. And I can't wait for more episodes. But we don't have to wait too long. The Flash will be returning in January, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so January 20th, if I'm not mistaken, is the return of the Flash. So we won't have to wait that long. But, yeah, the back half of the season is definitely going to be epic. We got the Rogues coming back. Captain Cold is leading them. That shit's going to blow up. We got some more metahumans. Definitely a rematch between Barry and the Reverse Flash. Harrison Wells, more sketchy shit. There's just so many things that are going to come up that I cannot wait for. It's going to be amazing. But anyways, what do you guys think about the episode? What did you think about the Christmas stuff? How did you feel about Reverse Flash versus Barry? What did you think about the big reveal of Harrison Wells being Professor Zoom or Reverse Flash, whichever you want to go with? Strangely enough, two things that I found funny is that, first off, Harrison Wells really wasn't that, he wasn't really, interested in Reverse Flash during the episode. I don't know if anybody caught that, but every time Barry or someone would talk about the man in the yellow suit, he's here, we found him, we saw him. He was always, like, casual about it. I just felt that was awkward. So, and also, Reverse Flash isn't his name yet. Apparently, he doesn't have a name. We should have, I don't even know why I called him Reverse Flash. We should have called him Opposite Flash, because that's the nickname that Cisco gave him. But based off the promo that we got for the rest of the season, he will get the Reverse Flash name, once we come back on the Flash in January. So, but overall, this season was great. My mind has exploded. My freaking levels are unproportionate because I don't know. The Reverse Flash, it just, my eyes are bleeding. I don't know. Comment section below. Let me know what you personally thought. Did you think this mid-season finale was epic? I definitely think it was. It was the best mid-season finale that they could have gave us, and more. It was just awesome. I'm just saying, folks, it was great. It was definitely an A+. I give it a 10 out of 10. But what do you personally give it? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know what you think about Harrison Wells, Professor Zoom. What are your expectations for the rest of the season? And also, be back tomorrow where I will give you my epic mid-season finale of Arrow. Yes, Arrow ends as well tomorrow, so that shit's gonna be pretty epic in and of itself. We got Raj Al Ghul versus Oliver, so even though that's, you know, stealing from Batman, I'm gonna let it go for right now to watch this epicness. So, but anyways, that's gonna be pretty much it. Reverse Flash is in Central City, and he is Harrison Wells. Or is he? I don't know. Question mark. Shit has hit the fan. That's all I have to say. But anyway, subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been my review of the mid-season finale of The Flash. I hope you guys enjoyed. And definitely check out previous reviews that I've done of The Flash. And I definitely will be coming back in January to review more episodes, because I cannot miss this, you know, super amazing show. You know, it just definitely tops everything else out there. I'm just saying, like, if you had to compare The Flash to other comic book shows, even Arrow, it just doesn't hold up. You know, if this mid-season finale didn't do anything for you, then I don't know what to say. And if you have not watched The Flash as of yet, all I can say is it's time for you to believe in the impossible. But that's pretty much all I have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed. This has been John 12.